Lovely to see you, to be with you all. Hey, Mark. So what we'll do at the end of today's meeting, I'll stop the recording, but we'll keep the meeting available for people to hang out. So for now, simply be without knowing, without the past, without the history, without a personal intention. Without purpose. Allowing being, inviting being, recognizing being. A joyful abandonment, a relaxation and innocent relaxation. No need to adjust your experience or manage it. Let the universe do what it's doing. The breathing, the warmth or coolness of the body, the sunshine, the sound of traffic or the neighborhood. Sensations within the body. All of it is unfolding in the same transparent, aware presence. Which has no name, no age, no gender. No conditions. And that's love, isn't it? God's gift. No need to trouble yourself with whatever thoughts are appearing. Let them be. Give them God's freedom. We receive God's message which is there is one self, one reality. There is nothing which is not my very self. I am universal self, being, presence, awareness. Non-local. Not a product of some activity, not the product of brain activity or mind activity, or Big Bang activity. The understanding that I am the activator of all activities. I, this invisible aware presence, is absolutely real. I am my own proof, my own evidence, the fact that awareness is. And there is no possibility of denying awareness. It is important that this understanding is your understanding. Not a hearsay, but your very own experiential, evidential understanding that I, awareness, is absolutely real. Perceptions come and go. Memories, friendships, family, the body come and go, moment by moment and over time. But your reality, the reality of being, of awareness, has never been known to come and go. As far as you look, then the question may arise, well, what to do with this understanding? First, it must be your understanding. What to do with this understanding? You need to understand the understanding. Explore this understanding. Yes, consciousness, awareness is absolutely real. Then we explore, is this reality, the reality of awareness, does it belong to any body, to any mind? Does it arise out of any particular mind? Is it determined by world events? Is it subject to the body? Is it subject to the brain? In other words, is it phenomenal? Is awareness phenomenal? Does it appear in time and space, or is it the non-appearing reality which perceives all appearances and to which all appearances refer? What is the size of awareness? What is the volume or density of awareness? Is it a female awareness, an American awareness, or a British awareness? You need to investigate these questions. Not just some sort of a way of spending your time, but with passion. To come to clarity about any doubts you may have, any questions you may have about consciousness. Because every question you have about consciousness is significant, needs to be brought out from the woodwork, to be explored, to be investigated, to be clarified. whatever doubts you have. To bring them out, bring them to the surface, to investigate them. With interest and love and passion. Without judgment. And to explore living as this borderless, transparent awareness, which you have determined to be real and to be your reality and to be the reality of the universe and to be the reality of the body and the reality of the mind. Not to keep going back to the old model of a personal being, personal entity with personal problems and issues. And waiting for somebody to refresh your understanding, the understanding which is yours. What is the point otherwise of coming to clarity and living as if you haven't? Life provides you with opportunities, various situations. To experiment what it's like to live as truth, as reality, not as the poor me, good old me, whatever that is. Don't make a problem out of the opportunities that life provides you. It's all universal doing. It's the universe doing what it does. It's inviting you to the freedom, to the complete freedom, freedom from relationship, freedom from attachment to relationship, freedom from attachment to things, to objects, to bodies, to minds, to experiences. If you attach yourself to an experience, the universe will come to test that attachment and tear it out of your hands. When you attach yourself to an image, the universe will rush to create havoc wrecking your image, if you attach yourself to your children, to your partner, the universe will come and bend backwards to seduce your partner away from you. All these are opportunities. It's not a punishing God, a wrathful God. God is truth, and truth is love. It's a constant invitation to your own recognition, to the recognition of the love that you are, the beauty, the tenderness, the compassion, the wisdom, the intelligence. Once you come to the threshold and you cross the threshold, you don't need to step back out. Because understanding is yours. Look within, you will find it. That I am this transparent, aware presence, effortless, borderless, unborn, non-local, and that nothing is not my very self. Everything is my very self. There are no borders between I and the universe. There are no borders between I and mind. There are no borders anywhere outside of imagined borders, like the imagined borders between the night sky and the day sky. It's the same sky. Your very self is that sky, this normal awareness is God's awareness. There's no distinction between my awareness and God's awareness. No distinction between my body, God's body. Okay, so if you have any questions, make sure you unmute your mic and can turn on your video so we can see each other. So any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Mark.
I thought for a minute there, I thought my signal dropped. Hi.
No, I
I was
see you and hear
wanting
you well.
Sorry?
I see you and I hear you quite well.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. Well, I was wanting to maybe talk about memory a little bit and what we call, so the past isn't real, we say. Memories are thoughts. I'm just kicking this around. So there feels like within me perhaps a little bit of a stickiness to past through memories. And so some memories are just practical matters, like, I want to remember how to multiply and subtract and, or remember how to do things. And then some memories are of events, which may have been lovely or happy, and then some the opposite of those. And I can kind of notice in the body. I've been looking at the body a lot lately and what the different thoughts that pass through. And of course, if I get attached to a thought, and then I see that pretty quickly. Usually I can see, well, I'm being stuck here. I'm not being free because I'm stuck on this whatever thought. I'm interested in what your thoughts might be on. Is there different kinds of memory? I mean, some people say it's just neuronal pathways that repeat themselves. Is that enough of a question? Did I get something?
Yes.
Out of all right.
So the first thing to understand about memory is that memory is a mechanistic process. It's a process in the event world. It's a phenomenal process. When you walk on the beach, there is a memory of your walk on the beach in the imprint of the footstep in the sand. So the body, the weight of the body, and the softness of the sand are two variables that create the memory and the duration of this memory if the sand is very compact. The memory is much shorter than if the sand is very soft sand.
What is the sand? The metaphor of sand is.
So the memory is a mechanistic process, a phenomenal process. Okay. There is a certain perception, and the perception has a neuron. It's a neuronic firing, and the neuronic firing of the brain, which is interconnected with the various systems in the body. They travel through, there is an impact of the perception and the brain activity and the activities of the body. And the activities of the body are interfaced and interacting with the universe, with the air, with the sunshine, with the cosmic rays, with the galactic field. So that so it's a process where a certain perceptions firing within the brain, the neuronic activities, the activities within the body, and then the activities of the body connected to the activities of the universe. So at any point in time, a little fluctuation in the universal field, in other words, a supernova in distant galaxies, can evoke a memory. Because the supernova and the super field, the energetic field and the cosmic field that is part of the supernova and part of your body and part of your brain and part of your perception, it's all interconnected. So a memory is impersonal. It is a universal, one of the ways in which the universe is firing within itself.
Firing?
Firing, you know, it's
like a neuron fire.
Excitations, yes, an excitation field, an excitation field within the vacuum. And so the key thing to understand about memory is it is impersonal. There isn't a person, there isn't a personal memory. There is actually nothing personal, period, in the entire universe. But specifically talking about memory, there is no such a thing as a personal memory. It's a cosmic memory, if you want to sort of, that is manifesting itself as a certain perception within your body mind at this specific instant in time. Let me see. Was there another part to your question? Can you remind me?
Well, this is already helpful. Let's see. So that's helpful for me to keep in mind that impersonal. So then that helps me to not try to attach my identity to whatever the memories are.
Yes, there was one more thing I wanted to say. Okay. That there is no such a thing as a non-phenomenal memory.
Okay. Oh, that's important.
There is no such a thing. There is no such a thing as a noumenal memory. And I, meaning awareness, consciousness, is a noumenal. One could say, okay, the body is phenomenal. The name Mark is phenomenal. It's different from the name Magdi. Mark's mom, Mark's dad are very specific, phenomenal forms, events. They have their own tendencies. They like the name Mark. It's a very beautiful name for their boy. All of that is a phenomenal in the phenomenal realm. But I is not the body. I is awareness, is noumenal presence, the reality which perceives right now, which is, and which knows it is not the body. It's not the body that knows it is. The body doesn't say, I am. No, it is I which says, I am. I, meaning the reality of awareness, of presence, the reality which perceives, which is. And that is noumenal, yes? It's noumenal. So there is no memory, no noumenal memory. There is no memory that applies to consciousness.
Thank you. That is helpful. That's something for me. I'll chew on that one.
And there is no need, therefore, to trouble yourself with noumenal memory. You don't need to remember yourself. It's not possible. You can remember where your keys are. You can remember where you put the laundry. If you put your shirt in the laundry, you can remember something about your vehicle, about your parents, about, yes, you can, phenomenal memories, yes, absolutely. They're very functional and essential. But noumenal memory is ignorance. When I say I remember, when I was 12 years old, it's only a way of speaking. I remember when the body was 12 years old. It's a phenomenal memory. You cannot remember yourself. You can only know yourself as an apperception, not as a perception, as an apperception, as a beingness. You know yourself as being. Being and knowing are hand in hand. They're not two. It's not like being and knowing. Being, there is no being without knowing, and no knowing without being. But memory is a different process. It's an unfolding in time. It's an unfolding of a thought appearing with a certain coloring. And so we decipher the coloring. We say, oh, I remember blah, 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 blah. And then blah, 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 blah. And then she, blah, 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 blah. And but, blah, 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 blah. Is memory. It's a phenomenal process.
And it's and memory is, as I think what you were saying earlier, memory is just as connected to everything else in the universe.
Absolutely.
As so, right. And it's as we hear often, I guess, thoughts coming through are similarly like the weather.
Yes.
That's just we're not controlling, or the what do I say? When I say we're not controlling, I guess it depends on what the identity is. If I say I, okay,
we're not
controlling,
we're not controlling as a personal self. We're not controlling as a separate consciousness. But one could say everything is in God's control. I mean, as a way of speaking, you know, God doesn't give a damn about control because there is no doubt about God's. God isn't worried about his or her control, right? Right?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah. But yes, there is no personal controller. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So we can relax. We can relax as being. We don't need to be somebody and remember to be somebody. We need to remember where our keys are. We need to remember the road we need to take to downtown, whatever. But we don't need to worry about remembering anything about being, how we should be, where, you know, what we should be, right? As I, you know, because I is nominal. It's not phenomenal, right?
I am following, yes.
And so there is a relaxation in this activity of trying to remember oneself, or to remember which is the path to happiness.
That.
The path.
Yeah, the path that,
yes.
You know, the path that's right here with 0 steps to take.
Yes, 0 steps. Yes, that's beautiful. 0 steps is wonderful. There's no better step, right? It's just 0 step.
Okay. Yeah, that's thank you, Magdi. That's helpful.
Okay, Mark. Nice to see you. Okay.
Nice to see you.
Yes.
Hi, Magdi.
Yes. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, nice to be with you. Thank you very much for everything. My understanding is that it's really only necessary to stay in touch with one's essential nature, one's beingness, in the midst of all experience. I know teachers, a lot of teachers. I believe the Buddha even his guidance was to his students to be vigilant. I'd like you to talk a little bit. I don't think beingness, we can't be on automatic pilot necessarily with beingness. As we get stirred up in maybe a remnant of an old experience that we thought we were at peace with. Mm-hmm. And I'd like you to just talk a little bit about that, if you would, for a minute.
Yes, Jeff. Yes. Let's say that we need to remember member, different members, and remember, bringing the members together. We need to remember beingness, meaning our essential nature, which, by the way, is our essential nature remembering itself. It's kind of funny because we say, well, what are you talking about? Essential nature remembering itself. It already is itself. I know. So it sounds like really weird, you know, but it's sort of the game of ignorance. This is why ignorance is not. We don't say ignorance is real. It's a veiling. It's a sort of the play. There is no actual ignorance, you know. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent. So yes, we need to remember our essential nature. But first, we need to understand what we're talking about in terms of essential nature. Of course, essential nature is it's used in so many traditions, our true nature, our essential nature, the reality of being the absolute, blah, blah. We need to come to the understanding that when we are talking about essential nature, we're talking about the reality of our experience, the reality of is awareness, is consciousness, is that which doesn't come and go, sort of the screen of awareness. Mm-hmm. So yes, we do need to remember our essential nature, the transparent presence. Because there is a tendency, like when for so many years you've been contracting your hand, and then a therapist or a friend tells you, okay, look, you can relax. You can also relax. Massage your shoulder, and then your hand can relax. Ah, that's wonderful. Well, I can do that. So you do that, and your hand relax. But an hour later, for a while at least, you will go back to contracting your hands because you've been doing it for so long. So then you need to remember, okay, look, so you massage your arm again, you relax your hand over and over, so many iterations. Eventually, you don't need to do that anymore. It's as if sort of the muscles of your body, of your arm and of your body, they got the message. So yes, Jeff, we do need to remember. First, we need to be clear about our understanding. It's our understanding, not a borrowed understanding. We have to come to the understanding of what I is, this transparent, aware presence. And we have to own this understanding. Once we have the understanding is there, available for us to, as you say, to remember. You don't need to remember it only when you find your arm contracted and you notice, oh, I am contracting my wrist. Then you have a good reason to remember. But when you are, your hand is relaxed, you don't need to remember anything. You don't need to remember. So the remembering is needed until you no longer need to remember. There comes a time, of course, it varies, there's no one formula. There's come a time where most of the time, majority of the time, 99% of the time, you are relaxed, your hand is relaxed. And yes, then it's as if you remember God, and then at some point, God starts to remember you or remembering itself. Yes, there is that process. And also, it is available to us, our understanding about being, the relaxation of being, the freedom of being, our true nature, being not a separate, not a limited consciousness, not a separate consciousness. That understanding in time, as we keep revisiting it whenever needed, will then the ignorance, which was at this level, then will start to go down and down and down and down and down. So at some point, you don't go up into ignorance, or it's very rare. If you go up, it's just for a small moment, and not such a big peak. You may go up just a little bit for a small moment, and then you go back to your essential nature, as you say, which is the causeless piece of being. So isn't
that what being awake is all about, though? Being awake, so that you don't turn the corner and get hit by that car, meaning hit by that content of experience that came out of the blue that you weren't ready for, and you certainly had no defense for, and it knocked you off the identification that you had been cultivating, and you still is your I don't know how to say it, but I mean that you've been cultivating as your essential nature, and if there is a cleansing to that remnant that may be there. I mean, I had something happen to me 2 weeks ago out of the blue, a surprise. Somebody I hadn't spoken to in years, and the person threatened my life. And it took me, it really shocked me.
Yes.
And I responded angrily. I really did. And I just thought, gee, where did that come from? How did this happen to me?
Yes. Well, yeah. Now, we already are the being. Being is. And superimposed upon being is I am somebody. And it could be superimposed upon being I am somebody who's awake, or who's awakening. It's still a superimposition, because being is not awake or not awake. If you want to take an option, say being is always awake, but it's not in the realm of awake and not awake. Awake.
But if I may ask you one question, isn't awake though only being present right now in this moment? Yes. As it arises.
Yes, I understand. Yes.
So doesn't that take a vigilance of being, awake, of being paying attention?
I understand. You understand, and I am yes. So out of the blue, here we are, and out of the blue, somebody insults me. Oh, you are stupid, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And so at that moment, I don't know what happens, but it could be that, oh, it doesn't bother me a bit. You can call me asshole. Or I get very irate. We don't know. So in the moment, I take a look. Oh, I'm getting really irate. So at that moment, I take a look. Wait a minute. I mean, it could be, I could or take a look or punch the person in the face, but let's take the option. I don't punch the person in the face. I take a look because somehow I'm interested in taking a look. It's not a choice. It just arises to me to take a look as opposed to punching me in the face. In another situation, I may punch him in the face, who knows? But let's say I take a look. So I take a look at that moment. What is it? What is it that's being insulted? I may realize, aha, I'm identifying with some image or somebody who should be treated in this way and that way. So in that moment, there is understanding, you say, there's understanding, which was triggered by my interest and by the fact that in this situation I was insulted. Somebody told me, you're a stupid ass, whatever, okay? So the point I want to make is I was not living vigilantly. I was just walking down the street. Hey, hi, how are you, Jeff? How are you doing? Or how are you, Jimmy? Whatever. You know, I was walking in the street. So the vigilance is at that moment when I'm insulted, instead of punching the other person in the face, I turn inward and I take a look. Why? Because I love truth. I'm interested in truth. I'm interested in understanding. So what is sufficient, Jeff, is your interest in understanding, your interest in truth. Life is going to present you a situation like you just mentioned to me. Somehow out of the blue, a friend of yours wants to hurt you. It's just come out of the blue. At that moment, life or the universe is presenting you, and you are a truth lover, is presenting you with situations, telling you, aha, all is okay, Jeff, all is okay, yeah, you're happy, yeah, well, let me now shock you. And it sends this person that wants to hurt you, harm you. So at that moment, the universe is inviting you to explore, how do I deal with this situation? How do I live this situation out of the understanding? I'm not saying, I'm not excluding, excuse me, I am not excluding that in some cases I will run away. If this person is coming to me with a stick, you know, I'm going to run, I don't want to get hurt, I will run away. But that aside, I am now presented with a situation of how to approach this situation from the understanding about one reality, about one consciousness, about the universal being, how to. And I don't know, but it's every situation is different. In your case, you take a look and you decide what you decide. Maybe you invite the person to tell you what's bothering them, or maybe you call the police to come and protect you and protect your family. And I don't know. We don't know. Maybe you take a look at how I hurt. Maybe I hurt this person really badly in the past, and maybe I need to apologize to this person. I don't know. But it's an opportunity to. So vigilance is not a practice. Vigilance is our love for truth and our love for understanding and for living the understanding brings up the vigilance at that moment where the vigilance is needed.
Okay, I follow you. Okay.
But it's very important at that moment, hopefully, you know, not to punch a person in the face, although sometimes it's appropriate.
to remain awake.
Sometimes to be awake is to hit the person in the face because they're coming at you with and your back is to the wall. What are you going to do? You're going to punch them. Hopefully you get out of the situation, but you have to use physical force.
Yeah, well, I responded out of anger, and I wish I hadn't after I did it. But you know, I just, you know, it just, you know, like I said,
it's okay. You know what, Jeff? It's not a big deal. So we respond with anger. Fine. You know, we don't hold on to it. We understand. Okay, fine. So we got angry, and we realized, okay, our anger maybe led to more upsetness for me, for a lot of people, and then we realize maybe next time there is a different way. I don't know. Let's see. But it's okay to get angry sometimes, you know, and we're not saints, you know.
No, right.
I mean, you know, you never know what comes to you and triggers something in you from your youth, and you end up, you know.
Well, like you said, it's an opportunity.
Yes.
It's an opportunity. I understand. Yeah,
right.
I understand.
And there is a fallibility to the human body mind. So it's okay. And then we let it go, and you know, we learn what we learn, you know, from the situation. And So it leaves a certain imprint, maybe. And then, it takes some time to let go of the imprint. May take a few days, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, fine.
Thank you, Magdi.
All right, Jeff. Nice talking with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. I read in John Klein's I Am book, I believe it was, and someone was asking him about having no questions. And John Klein's response was that it's laziness not to have questions. It's a mental laziness. And I'm just wondering about myself, because often in satsang, I'm just comfortable after the meditation and nothing comes to my mind. Is this a form of laziness?
Mm-hmm. It's important to dig in your bag. You have to sort of take a close look, investigate, inquire. Something's happening in your life, something is bothering you, something is unclear. You have to take a look within your being. Sometimes we are shy to ask a question. Or we sort of, a question arises and take a quick glance at it and brush it aside, but it's not answered really. It's not looked at carefully. Yes, there comes a point where there are less and less questions, or no questions. There's just no question. All the questions are answered. But until then, we have to do our work. We have to show up. Showing up is very important. But we also have to investigate, to test our understanding. Make sure that our understanding is clear and is our own. We have to clear the doubts, if any. To be humble we watchful of arrogance, self-arrogance within ourselves. But elevating oneself, or to be very genuine. Let's take a look at our bullshit, of the things that we push under the rug, you know. Have investigated everything under the bed, under the rug, inside the bed, over the bed, in the drawers. It may take some courage, you know, to expose yourself. It may feel like you're exposing yourself. But it's all illusion. There isn't, here among us, there is no judgment. There isn't show off, or ridiculing somebody. That's not at all, is completely absent in where we are here in this meeting. It's a golden opportunity to clear the dust, to clarify, not to sort of listen to a teacher or elevated teacher, and no, it's a conversation of friends, and so you don't compromise. You're looking until the understanding, you know, you answer this question to yourself. To yourself. You don't just accept. It's not about accepting. You may hear some things and not fully grasp it, and you sort of put it on pause to explore it later. That's fine. You say, well, I need to take a closer look at that later. We have the recording, or make a note, a mental note. That's okay. Which is not acceptance. It's somehow you feel, okay, this is something I need to take a look at, you know, on my own, and bring it up if there is something to bring up. Or whenever you are having a conversation with friends, or truth lovers about truth, without personhood, it's not a gathering of persons. It's a gathering of, you know, is God gathering himself and herself around himself and herself. It's, one could say it's God disciples, but I don't like that word. I actually take it back. No, there are no disciples. No, I take it back completely. It's a gathering, a precious gathering. And it has inquiry in it, it has love in it, it has passion in it, friendship in it, or courage. Yeah, the interest, it's your interest. And the destination is one destination. And every opportunity is your opportunity to listen, because there is understanding in an open and interested listening. There is understanding. It's between the words. It's the noumenal message. The non-auditory message. Which is a resonance of your love for truth, because your love for truth is also noumenal. It's not phenomenal. It's not a love for a beautiful car or a beautiful pair of shoes. So your love for truth is noumenal. And understanding is noumenal. So love and understanding are both the same. They're noumenal. Which is between the words and also within the words, but not as the word, as the words. It's the resonance of the words. It's not a meaning that the mind can decipher. It's a meaning that kills the mind, that kills the separate mind, the mind of ignorance. And in our meetings, there is no need for shyness. Because there is no one judging anybody. We're just interested. It's the same interest. Your life, my life, his life, it's the same. Things appearing, situations appearing, emotions appearing, disappointment appearing, sense of loss appearing. It's the same. Today is your turn, tomorrow is my turn. Right? I mean, heck, it's all the same chicken coop.
It's so interesting that you mentioned nice shoes.
Yeah.
Last week I got a haircut, and I went out of the place and just went to a thrift store around the corner. And just I had no wish to get anything specific. But then I saw on one shelf, I saw one pair of shoes. And wow, I really liked them. I mean, I didn't need any shoes. But I liked those shoes.
Yeah.
I tried them out, and they were perfect my size, and they were only $12. And
yes.
so this was such an amazing coincidence.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. So they bought themselves, right?
Yes, they did. And now they have a good home. Yeah. Thank you, Magdi. Beautiful.
You're reminding me of this beautiful pair of shoes that I had for years. It was like very, very quaint, like, you know, sort of, it came out of the 40s or the 50s. It had that cream color body with with laces with little metal hooks, you know, those laces that you sort of go around the hook. But the front part of the shoe had a different color. It was like a darker brown color. I just love those shoes. Whenever I remember them, I wonder where have they gone, you know. Maybe one day I'll find them in the thrift shop.
But such a release on my side that I'm really not interested anymore in things. I mean, this is such a release, so beautiful.
Yes.
I still enjoy them
Yes.
as functional quality tools, but I don't hunger anymore for any stuff.
Yes, that's nice. Yeah, it's nice to be free from these sort of dependencies or desires. At the same time, things appear to you, you know, a pair of shoes, I don't know, something appear to you and you say, yes, why not? You know, you may have three.
The same way you appear to me too.
And so do you. We appear to each other.
Yes, it's wonderful. Thank you.
Yes. We have to consume to keep the economy going, you know.
Hello, Magdi. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Jarek.
Yeah, I just joined to your meeting.
Hello.
Sorry, I couldn't come earlier, but I hope.
Yes, nice sweater, nice sweater. Huh?
Thank you.
It's winter time. Yeah, very nice. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that you were talking with
Holger.
With Holger about the shoes.
Yes.
What's amazing non-dual topic, shoes.
Yes, absolutely. Because you know, we love shoes. Sometimes we love shoes. You know.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. My pupil, because I teach math, my pupil told me that because his hobby is finding nice shoes, and he was describing me the shoes with this. Now I'm afraid that I have not much words to describe this unusual thing, but you know the part when you have like we have tongue, and the shoes have the tongue also.
Yes. Right.
And so on this tongue area there are eyes, and this eyes, this is like when you put light, like sunlight, they change color.
Oh, cool.
Eyes.
Yes. How old is the
pupil? He's young. I teach him to the math exam to. So he's about maybe 13, 14 years. So
okay.
He's on this fashion style, and he also told me that there are shoes with human blood, you know, because and this like in so I use my in this area where we have shoes. They on the on the side there is even this thing. So the fashion is I before I couldn't like even thinking that this is possible. There will be something like that, but if
yes.
This is like the fashion. So.
Yes.
But just for going with this shoes topic.
Yes.
But so nice to see you, Magdi.
Same, nice to see you.
Yeah. And I had one question, because you know, when we are like in this non-dual being, and there is one conscious, there is no distinction, and this is like the pure potential.
There are distinctions, but no separation. Yeah, there are distinctions, but no separation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But mainly that there is no time, like no time, no space. The time space comes a bit in that. But I could question, because sometimes it's thought that this is the pure potential, this conscious. So, but
yes,
still we have like this law. We have like the physical law, the gravity law.
Yes.
And so I'm like, for me, on this rational mind is thinking. So this is not like pure like free, this conscious, because still is bound in some logical like physical laws which we
yes,
like, as human
yes,
discovered.
right,
So,
right, yes.
So what's your view?
Yes. So yes, you are right. There is no freedom or complete freedom in the realm of phenomena. You cannot choose for the oak tree to grow more than 100 feet. You cannot grow more than 105 feet maybe, but cannot grow 200 feet. When you drop a ball, it's gonna go down to the ground because of the gravity. But this is phenomenal. In the phenomenal realm, there are laws, the phenomenal laws, which we are science is exploring, and we're formulating models, mathematical models, and more and more complex models to try to sort of determine, to be able to predict the relationships in the phenomenal realm, and we are constantly being surprised and discovering more and more complexity in the laws that govern the phenomenal universe. But when it comes to reality, when it comes to consciousness, there are no laws that apply to the noumenal, because it's not phenomenal. So you cannot outline a variable, a consciousness variable A and a consciousness variable B, and study the relationship between consciousness A and consciousness B, because there are no phenomenal parts of consciousness that you could study the relationship, and therefore the determinism does not apply to the noumenal. It applies to the phenomenal. But then you can say, well, okay, I understand that freedom is in the realm of the noumenal, but there is no freedom in the realm of the phenomenal. So therefore, there isn't absolute freedom. And that would be true. That would be true if there were two realities. If there was the reality of consciousness and the reality, the phenomenal reality. So if we assume there are two realities, one reality is freedom, complete freedom, and one reality is a limited freedom or partial freedom, then we have an issue. There is no such thing as absolute freedom. But when you look at the two reality model, you will find that that these two realities, the reality of consciousness and the phenomenal reality, they interact. They interact. In other words, I perceive, I meaning consciousness, I perceive the tree, I perceive the car, I perceive the ball falling to the ground. So there is an interaction between the phenomenal and the noumenal. But because there is an interaction between those two realities, you can no longer say there are two realities. It must be one reality, by very fact of interaction. So if they are one reality, then you have to take a choice. You have to ask yourself, you have to explore, is the reality noumenal or is it phenomenal? Okay, so you will come to the conclusion that the reality is actually noumenal. It is not phenomenal. That phenomenon appears and disappears, it's not always present, it's noumenal. So therefore, the phenomenal, the reality of the phenomenal is non-phenomenal, because there is only one reality, which is noumenal. So actually the phenomenal is noumenal. You say, well, how could the phenomenal be noumenal? Well, because when you look at the phenomenal, you come upon the concept. So there is a concept, because there is the concept of the tree, the concept of gravity, and of course there are the laws, but also the laws are based on certain axioms. So the entire realm of phenomenology is axiomatic, is conceptual, like the wave. When you look at the ocean, you say, oh, there is a wave, here's wave A, here's wave B, here's wave C. And then I tell you, where is wave A? You go to it and then it's not there anymore. But you say, well, there was a wave before. I took a picture of it, so there was a wave. But in fact, there is no wave, it's just the ocean. The essence, the reality of the wave is water or ocean. So the wave is the ocean waving, or is the unmanifest, is the noumenal moving. So manifestation or the phenomenal is nothing else but the noumenal. Is actually noumenal. So the phenomenal is noumenal. I know it sounds weird because you're using two words. You're using
no. I follow you, Magdi.
And using noumenal. How could you? So then we have to introduce the reality. So we have to get complicated in our language. Say, okay, look, the reality. There is the appearance, and there is the reality of the appearance. So an appearance is
if you to paraphrase what are you saying is that like the science, the description of science, the phenomena that borrow is language from the from the nominal, which is like it is, and this without no time, this is like permanent, and because the nominal is permanent and has this quality of being like in time, like I'm looking for this English word, like in Poland we have wieczysty, like the timeless, maybe, or the time, the nominal is timeless.
Yes.
So the phenomenal description, like all the concepts, like borrowed the stability from this nominal, timeless, like
yes. So the time is a movement. You could say it's the movement of thought, the memory, or just thought. The impression of thought is time. But this thought is a mind impression. So the thought, you experience the thought within your direct experience of consciousness. So the thought is a mind impression that is perceived, and the perceiver of the thought is not separate from the thought. In other words, the thought is one with the perceiver of the thought. Is there not two? So in fact, the thought is, which is phenomenal, is actually the noumenal, is a noumenal, which is its reality. We could say the noumenal awareness is taking on the form of a thought as it perceives it. It sort of creates it and perceives it, boom, in that moment, okay? And that's time. So time is an activity of consciousness. Yeah, it's just so consciousness is stillness and the movement. It's a stillness and a movement. And the stillness is the essence, the substance of the movement. So the movement is actually a stillness. It's actually a stillness, which within itself, it's appearing as a movement to itself, yeah, and then it invites itself. It invites itself to realize that it's actually a non-movement, So the time outside of thought, outside of the movement, is no time. So in the essence of being or awareness, or the silent, the noumenal silence, is no movement. There is no thought, there is no time. But where does time appear? It appears within that noumenal silence. So the reality of time is no time. I know it sounds crazy. It's like, oh, how can you speak like this? The reality of time is no time. You have to go beyond
But my question is, like, because this nominal, like conscious, timeless space, let's say space, because of lack of words, the space-time is appearing, the description, but it's appearing in such a way, with laws, with this stability, and this, like, is for me is good, but there's no like in the magic way, like in this like Marvel movies, that you have this powers, in reality, in the phenomenal area, there is this laws. You have, for example, take this gravity. It's always going down.
Yes.
And we know why, and we have this description, and we can say that this is in conscious, but this conscious choose that way.
Yes, but keep in mind the following, okay? Keep in mind the following. That,
of course,
that the laws, we formulate certain axioms, we conduct certain experiments, we make certain determinations, we make statistical analysis, and we arrive to a certain proof or a certain law which we formulate.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind the following. There is an instrument which we are using in the study of the laws of nature. There is an instrument. There is mind, there are axioms, there are presuppositions, there are constant, determine constant. There is an instrument. So we come to certain laws about the universe based on the instruments which we are using. Now just imagine that there is a quantum jump in the instrument. Just as a mental exercise, there is a quantum jump in the instrument. Okay, you will come upon various, totally different laws. You will still come upon laws because you still have an instrument. You have a quantum instrument. You're going to come to.
Sorry that interrupt you, Magdi. I follow you, but
Yes.
you know when in this like example, when I have a different like structure, body, mind, different instrument, and I will come with different laws. But I think that these laws from this new apparature, it will be still should be consistent in this like human body mind tools, because maybe it's like in the theory that there is like the in above it's like comprehending
Yes, but you are giving you're giving too much importance to the body mind tool.
Okay.
You know, the body mind tool could be one methodology or one medium via which the universe is experiencing itself. Why, on what basis are you going to conclude that the body mind instrument is it? You know, we don't know. I mean, I would keep it open that there are infinite possibilities in the vast universe in terms of the universe experiencing itself and knowing itself. So not just via this current body-mind instrument.
So in your opinion, Magdi, you are saying that it is possibility that we as humans we can be wrong about everything, and
not wrong. Not wrong. We just have a small window. We have a small window based upon the particular body-mind instrument, which you know is right now upon reality. Phenomenally, about the phenomenal manifestation. But in terms of the noumenal, it's a different affair, because in the noumenal, as far as we know, there is the formless reality of consciousness, of awareness, which we can explore and experiment with, and come to the determination that this reality is non-phenomenal, and that this reality is unborn and therefore undying. It is not it does not belong to the realm of time and space. The realm of time and space belong to it. So we can extrapolate from that given that time and space belong to it, we are open to the possibility that all realms belong to it, not just the realms that we perceive via our limited body mind, but realms beyond that which perceive. In fact, as our instruments get more and more sophisticated, we discover further and further reaches into the ever expanding universe. So we remain open to two things. First, that consciousness is real and it's not phenomenal, and doesn't belong to any particular body mind, that in particular body minds arise within it, and that the phenomena arise within it, and that it is the reality of all phenomena. So it is the reality of the phenomena that we know via our senses. But why exclude? On what basis would we exclude that this very reality does not include the perceptions of a lizard, or the perception of a turtle, or the perception of a bird, given that via our investigation, meaning via the investigation of consciousness within itself, there are no possibility for two realities. There isn't a possibility for two realities. And like, if two realities actually do exist, and they do not interact.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, then
of
we're
course.
talking about unicorns, you know. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. But this one nominal reality is the primary. Yeah, we know this, but still, I think it's good to have the attitude to have the humble and the honor of the relative, like knowledge laws, because we have gained like the freedom from this seeing of nominal, but we still like human, Yarek, the body will die, and maybe maybe I like sometimes I fantasize that maybe it will be like there was the famous movie the case of the Benjamin, like so he went going younger and younger, and because usually person don't want like die, so it want to like the body to live forever, but still, as we know, the biological like going to the end, there is birth and there is death. The nominal is like timeless, we know, but we still live through the organism, the living.
No, we don't live through the organism. The organism lives through us. We don't live through the organism. The consciousness doesn't depend on the organism. The organism depends on consciousness. In fact, there is no perception without consciousness, without awareness.
Yes, but
awareness doesn't depend on consciousness, or doesn't depend on the body mind. Now you need to take a close look at that, because this is a very, very important point.
Yes, but conscious choose for yourself to show to yourself by this multiplicity of form.
Yes, consciousness chooses that out of its freedom, but this does not mean that consciousness must choose that in order to blah blah blah. It chooses that. It creates actually the body-mind world, and via particular body minds, it perceives specific perceptions, and via infinite body minds, it perceives infinite perceptions. But that's just out of its choice and out of its freedom. It's not out of necessity. Necessity only applies to that which is created. For example, you need to drink water every, you need to feed your body. The necessities do not apply to consciousness. It applies to, but it's part of the laws, part of the laws of creation, of that pertain to the manifestation, that pertain to the phenomena. But the laws, they're not created by phenomena. The phenomena follows the rules and the laws that are universal, that are the created like when you have a flute, there are certain laws that apply to making musical sounds via the flute, that apply to how to hold the flute and how to blow the air and how to move your fingers. But the creator of the flute and the enjoyer of the music is not the instrument. So the fact that there is a body mind via which consciousness perceives does not signify that consciousness has a need or depends on the body-mind. If it chooses to perceive this perception without a body-mind, nothing stands in its way. It can perceive it. It can perceive it through those glasses, you know. We will one day come upon more and more complex laws of the creation that will prove to us how complex and how infinite complexity, and at the same time, there is a beauty in science and beauty in mathematics and in science, that where complexity and simplicity meet. And we are just little children now in the garden of, in the scientific garden.
Yeah, but there is no the God, because this is all God happening. So the God choose like the body mind of Magdi, the body mind of Jarek, the body mind of all these attenders on this Zoom, or your wife, or everything. And you know, because to be honest, I know I can use like the imagination of my mind to imagine different laws, different like different sets of possibilities. But to be honest, I don't know if this, maybe in imaginary it could happen. But you know, we know that the things like showing to us in that way, not different way. So yeah, and,
Yes.
and even this conscious phenomenon, like to like the being the person with this personality and his own like virtues or good side and bad side. So even this in this veiling, because some people don't seeing this what you pointing to, Magdi, this conscious thing. So even this veiling like the veiling of the conscious nominal reality, even this conscious choose to veil to yourself.
Absolutely. Look, in your night dream, okay, in your night dream, you may dream that you're flying with your wings. You have wings and you're flying, and you are defying the laws of gravity. And from that perspective, there is a reality to your experience as a man who is flying, or as a flying thing, you know, in the air. And there are different laws that apply in your dream state than the laws that apply in your waking state. And yet you could ask yourself, well, wait a minute, they're not separate. The waking state and the dream state, they're not separate, because something connects them. There's something that connects the dream state and the waking state. And in the deep sleep state, even there, you will have a really hard time to formulate the laws of the phenomenal laws of the deep sleep state, and yet they are connected. So it poses it can present a big question mark about our certainty about the laws of nature. It's it's a process, and it's a magnificent process of exploration, exploring the laws of that govern the waking state, and the laws that govern the dream state, and the laws that govern the deep sleep state. It's just an exploration, and there is a certain playfulness to it, because the reality of all these states is a non-state. Is consciousness. And similarly, as you say, there are people who don't know what we are talking about, or don't, you know, they're like, what are you talking about? They have no experiential sense of what we're talking about, which is also consciousness choosing that a particular mind is investigating and looking at the reality of consciousness, and another particular mind is living and worried about what's going to happen to him and his family tomorrow. It's all consciousness play. You have to use the term play because there's nothing serious about it, because there isn't a something at stake from the perspective of reality, from the perspective of consciousness, and which does not mean that all our inquiry into the laws of nature, the laws that govern phenomena, are nonsense. No, far from it. They are fascinating because in some indirect way they reveal something about consciousness. In their pursuit of truth, it's the pursuit of the one truth. There isn't two truths. So in a way,
for me, when I see the equation, the beautiful physics equation, when like connect, for example, like the speed, the time, the street, or different other three values, and this is all connected with this equation, and this is like very big harmony. There's such beauty to contemplate.
Absolutely.
Even,
yeah, there is
even like to contemplate this like question, this equation, for me is enough. Maybe there will be like greater, like
it is
more marvelous.
Yes, but you're right. There's beauty in looking at a snowflake. You know, you look really closely at a snowflake, and you know, you snowflakes, and there is tremendous beauty. But in our inquiry and investigation and contemplation of reality of consciousness, we come also upon beauty, and we come also upon love, we come upon awe, but we come upon a non-phenomenal beauty, meaning not a beauty that has a phenomenal aspect to it. It's like going to the source, to the spring, where there is unending. It's the entire ocean is revealed.
So like when you're looking on the snowflakes or beautiful flower, you see the beauty, and this like maybe in some point is the object, or the equation is object, but the object is like just portal to this portal.
Yes, it's a portal, but the portal, when you come to beauty via a portal, it is pointing, you know, this portal is pointing to the source. In our contemplation about reality, about the reality of consciousness, we are contemplating the source directly, because presence, awareness love, beauty, happiness, joy, and freedom are one. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Very lovely to be with you. I'm going to just stop the recording, and if people want to hang up, you're welcome to. Thank you all.